Welcome to Better Than Inflix Fantasy Football. We'll be covering last week's action along with some of this upcoming matchups, some I'm particularly excited about.
Yeah,
But
buddy.
first, Mike, I have to hand the nod to you about last week. The spotlight,
Oh,
Uno
we're jumping
Master.
right. We're jumping
Dude,
right
I'm
into the
getting right
spotlight.
into the spotlight because I want to get this off my chest. I chose wrong here, and man, was I off by a lot.
Hey, well, real quick for those viewers at home, how did this go about? Because I think when we were looking at the points, we were looking at the hey, we're gonna do this podcast. You're like, yeah, no, I got it right, and I'm like, are you sure? And you're like,
Yeah.
let me double check. And did you, correct me if I'm wrong? Did you have to go back and look at the
Yeah,
YouTube?
I thought I chose Travis. I think I was like, damn, I won by a lot. Mike's an idiot. And I went and I had to listen to the last 2 minutes of the podcast again to realize I was the idiot in this terms because frickin' Travis's team blew up
The
in a good
first
way.
win, the first win I actually got this year was Travis. Oh yeah. Well, hey, the guy picked P1, right? I mean, he did pick first, so advantage his way. But holy shnikes, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. But I mean, we can start breaking down these games a little bit about how I think how everybody's winning. I mean, again, we're talking about week 3 in the books now. We're moving on to week 4. It's a long season. But if we're talking about big days, right, with Travis, Mahomes, and Lockett, 46 plus, 32 plus, respectively.
That's
Ugh.
that's crazy. I think I actually handed him this win because he tried to trade me Lockett on Saturday.
He brought it up in the chat.
And I was like, absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
And so it was you and somebody else. Somebody else
It was
also declined.
It was Justin.
Oh my! Would that be the difference? Would that be the difference? Have we done that math?
No, he still would have absolutely annihilated Justin.
I mean, Mahomes. I mean, I was struggling with the. I'm not sure about you guys, but I do the NFL fantasy on the phone, and I watch it. I don't actually have NFL or anything like that kind of crap, but I'm watching the KC Baltimore game intently because I'm going against my man, and we're talking about I'm going against Kelsey and blah blah blah. Mahomes was on point. He was dropping him in there perfect. 46 plus points. Give him 100 points. That guy killed it.
Yeah, he probably I think you can take him out of the game and he still beats Justin. Just take him out. Travis didn't even need to play quarterback this week. He still had money. But you know what? Nice pick last week. Okay, I will say that Russell also went off, and 38 points is still outrageous for a quarterback.
That's what's tough. That's what's tough. I mean, if we go back and we'll just real quick look at our spotlight from last week. You're talking about Mahomes and Lockett real quick, 46 plus, 32 plus, respectively. That by itself, we're talking 78 points. That's real close to the cap of what a lot of our teams are picking up right now, and those guys save basically minus 2 points from Freeman and Waller. This is what that we're gonna get into it, but that's what the crazy part is yes, he had a 46 plus and a 32 plus, but then you look back at his running back and his tight end. Running back, you got 2. Tight end, you only got 1, and we're talking negative, minus 2 points total, meaning less than 2. Now he didn't get actual negative points, but a running back getting less than 2 points. Waller, oh my God, Waller less than 2. We're not talking injury.
He
Unbelievable.
Blew up last week, busted this week. This is boom bust to a T.
However, double digits for all of Travis's rest of the picks except for 2 flops. Those 2 flops I just talked about. Even the kicker and defense were in the doubles. So while we will give some love to Mahomes and Lockett, you know how you get to 170 plus? The entire bloody team picking up double digits and change minus 2. And Ay. Sorry, Justin, mate, but you were effed from the beginning.
Didn't have a chance at all. And there were some points on the benches, but there's nothing that could make up that kind of deficit.
They did a pretty good goddamn job. I mean, you look at Justin, we're talking 38-plus points out of Wilson, as you said. Next highest is Hilaire at 16-ish, just shy of 16. And then here's the other thing, too. Maybe this is the thing. If both players have truncated names that are exactly the same, that is a hex because – there's 2 M. Browns on Justin's teams, both flops. Both players, both steady downturns since week 1. Booms, by the way. Big weeks for both Browns. You can look up the names and the people. Week 1, phenomenal. 2, 3, no bueno. We're talking about the bench. The only person that Justin could have pulled from that bench that would have helped, Fuller. A 13.4 wouldn't have made a dent. Wouldn't even been close.
No. But I will say, just kind of wrapping that game up, I think congratulations, Travis, for having a league high out of the 7 years we've had this league. There's some years skipped in there. 173.1 points. That's wonderful.
It's huge.
And I will say there was another game that was not so close, but we got to mention it was the battle of the undefeateds.
Absolutely.
Steelers fan 69, the black and gold tried and true Taylor against Derek, the participant. Some people, he barely makes the bench on most teams.
Derek?
Except yes, Derek as a player. Yes. Yes, Derek. In my heart, he's right there. But dear God, the man just comes out on top. Derek. Taylor texted me. He's like, hey, man, I did not want to play Dion Lewis. And I'm like, that really sucks because he's in your lineup, so I can't do anything for you. And I was like, just for funds, who are you going to play instead? He's like, Valdez Scantling. Scantling? Yes. And I was like,
carry the one?
Yeah. Taylor, that wasn't a 20-point swing. I think you actually would have lost another half point with that swap.
Oh, man. Yeah, we talk about booms versus busts on that game, and again, it's more about the overall team points. Only one player with a boom, and we're talking about Josh Allen for Taylor, 31-plus points. And again, this is me saying because I'm new to the game here, I'm new to the terminology, but I'm telling you, if you're 30-plus points, I think we can qualify you as a boom.
That's a ceiling for Josh. He definitely freaking blew up for sure.
Yeah, and if you're in the 30-plus points game, that's a big game. 30-plus is big. If you're in the 20s, that's like, oh, actually I should say 30-plus is like a boom. But a 20-plus is a good game. Teens, if we're talking about our running backs, our wide receivers, that's the kind of game we're expecting from those kind of guys.
And we're happy with.
Exactly. Yeah. If we're looking at Josh Taylor or Josh Allen, for Taylor, a 31-plus point game out of your quarterback, that's a pretty damn good that's all. Notable, Chubb, 23-plus. But you put those two guys together. Here's the one of the things that I think is big, though. Again, overall team points. I'm talking about Taylor right now. Taylor lost. So here's why. 5 out of the 9 playing positions in the single digits. That's how you lose a fantasy game right there.
Meanwhile, you got 7 out of 9, more than double sometimes. Somehow, Derek, who tried to trade me Trubisky, who only played half of the game, still gets a win. Nod to him. I hope he falls off the cliff, but I'll give him his 3-0 start. I'm proud of him just a little bit.
But if you look at what the stats are, right? He's only got 2 that are plus 20.
Robinson.
We're talking about Josh Allen, 31-plus points, but only 2 for Derek at plus 20. It's the rest of the team that really picks up the pace.
And I'll combat remember, we're making fun of the Brown picks. the M Browns for Justin.
Right.
And right here, I want to note that the Robinsons, Meet the Robinsons, is Derek's new name, as both Alan and I believe this
Marquise?
is James Robinson.
James.
Freaking blew up this week for him and really, I think, brought him the win. So welcome to Meet the Robinsons for Derek.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, you look at the kind of points he's putting up, it's, I mean, like I put in my notes here, we're talking about that. Nobody's happy seeing Derek on the sharp end. And I don't really know why he brings this kind of disdain or just distaste for him being at the sharp end. But he is at the sharp end on a regular basis. If we start looking back at the overall standings, we're looking at the participants. Derek Esquivel at the sharp end. And nobody really wants to see him at the sharp end. Maybe it's his profile pic. I mean, it's just overall.
You know what? I think that might. We have a lot of positive things to say at him, so we got to like even out the podcast here.
Yeah, sure. But he did pick number 5. He did pick number 5, and don't forget he was P3 last year in the regular season, P4 after playoffs. So even though we give Derek as much crap as we do, it does seem like the guy knows how. He knows how to fantasy a little bit. Even though he goes, hey, what are you guys doing? What's happening?
See, you're on the phones up there. Hey, Mike, you want to trade me a pick?
We're at the middle of open practice. He's over here doing fantasy. I should do that.
Yeah, you should. Good idea. That's probably where he gets his sneak picks. So, and as always, early in the weeks, we have most of the league members tied with 2-1 and 1-2. Right. And with our 2 standouts, obviously Derek at the top and yours truly at the bottom with 0-3.
What's up, buddy? What's up?
I'm handing people's wins left and right. I still believe in my team. If I traded, I think the next trade that freaking Travis sends me, I'm just be like, he knows something I don't know. I need that player.
Yeah. And if anybody's a trade with you, it sounds like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because if the last couple of trades would have equaled a possible loss. We talked about in the previous episode how we are not a big trading league.
No.
And yet somebody starts trying to trade and they would have been wrong. So maybe stop doing it. Stop. No more trades, everybody. Meanwhile, I plan on doing some trades this week.
Yeah, Travis, if you see this, I'm looking at you. I might come after Lock pretty hard. Lock it. So, and I will say that we're still keeping it tight. Everyone's close. It's obviously week 3. I think we'll have some separation later. I'm really going to see if Derek can keep his undefeated streak alive.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about week 3, right? I mean, it's someone. I was looking at last year, and I'm brand new, right? So I'm brand new. Watch out for this thing. I'm brand new, and I'm going, oh wow, I killed it in the draft, and all sorts of kinds of shit. And I'm trying to figure things out, and I had a pretty good year. I also had McCaffrey. I had some things go my way, but the fact of the matter is that you start learning what to do, what not to do, and why. And there is a method to the madness a little bit. The people who, we don't want to give Derek any credit. I mean, we're early. It's week 3. We got 10 more weeks to go. And so we're looking at you, the commish, at 0-3. We're looking at
past champion. Okay, can we put that? My name's on the trophy.
Is that in the histories?
You got to go.
There it is. No, yes. I have it on my okay, there you go. Okay, I have it in my notes. I think everybody quit that year. It was like a boycott or something like that. You won off. Anyways, So we're going to move on. So the commish 0-3, but we're talking about some people who are at the sharp end that it's not a huge surprise. Quick note, Taylor, P2, Travis, P3 right now, both 2-1. Taylor, runner-up in the Super Bowl. Taylor finished 2nd. Travis, P1 and P2 in Super Bowl a season prior, in the season prior that we ran, which would be 2017. So it's not like, maybe Travis had a bad year, but it's not like the guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So we do have a pretty big depth in this league. So to see some of these cats at the sharp end, I mean, even if we're looking at Derek, it's not a big surprise. This is a tough league.
And for those of you non-Carters, P1, that's champion and vice champion. So,
thank you. Yes. Position 1, position 2. I apologize. Wait, who in this group is not Carters?
Trevor. And Taylor. Trevor and Taylor. To be honest, we have had Trevor work at the track, but
Trevor worked. Taylor, get with the times.
I think he's come and pushed my cart to the grid once or twice. So
there you go. He should know.
P1, P2. And I think you win series and championships off the waiver wire. So I try to use segues here and there, and I think that was a pretty good one. Mike, lead us off. Who are you looking at? What you talking about?
When we're talking about waiver wires, man, I'll tell you. I talked about last time. You baited me a little bit last time with the waiver wire. You asked me about defense. You asked me about a few different things, and I tried to play, I don't know, dumb, stupid, whatever it was. But yeah, you damn right. I picked up the Colts, and it was literally the best goddamn team. Is the best player on my entire squad was the Colts. Thankfully for me, they did enough to get me to the win, but I can't say they're the only reason why I won. At the end of the day, we're talking about streaming. We're talking about matchups. And I think at this point, we're talking about matchups with the teams that are starting to become the play against them people. And you're not going to – I think the streaming is going to become a bigger deal as we move forward in the season. Right now, your obvious ones, Philadelphia. Your obvious ones, Jets. Miami, pretty much in there. Carolina, it breaks my heart, but Carolina's pretty high up there. I'll say this, though. Seattle. If you look at some of the matchups, the way the NFL rankings are going, they're saying that Seattle is not so great at stopping, like, the run and things like that. So pay attention to – actually, for those of you who don't actually pay enough attention to, what you see on the NFL website and what you see on the NFL app are different. They give you two different pieces of information. So make sure you guys are paying attention to both pieces, because they will tell you a little bit different information as far as what the better matchups are, who you should be playing for. But I'll tell you right now, we're moving towards the waiver wire. I got right in front of me right now. We're gonna haul ass through this real quick. If I wanted to go players, hit the click button. Move on down. Projections for week 4. Well, what do you know? Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's right at the sharp end after a solid week. He's going against Seattle. Yeah. I don't know about Seattle. Here's the thing, though. Teddy Bridgewater against Arizona. Kirk Cousins, Houston. Baker Mayfield. We're starting to get into the shit zone. I'm not really interested in that. Ryan Fitzpatrick against Seattle. I hope you have a good quarterback at this point, because I don't feel good about it. We're going to move on. Running back. Myles Gaskin, Seattle. Again, same refrain. Seattle. They're so hit and miss. Look over to the right. 12.6 on the projections. We're going to talk about projections in a second, about what people could get versus what they do get. That seems to be a bit of an anomaly. Frank Gore with Jets. Stay away from the Jets, you guys. Stay away from the Jets. Don't do it. James White, New England, questionable. I don't like it. Duke Johnson, I don't like it. Lindsey, I don't like it. We're moving on.
Not even worth it. Look at all of the massive drop-off here. Hopefully at a running back.
Move on. And we're talking about these things, Cameron, like we're talking about the projections. It's what makes you feel good. It makes you feel good to see some big numbers. I'll tell you right now, Jameson Crowder, you want to talk about feel good? I drafted this sumbitch. I drafted Jameson Crowder. He's been hanging on the goddamn bench, hurt, since round number 1, which is a good one, mind you. But then you got a little teaser. Justin Jefferson. He just went off. I'm going to pull up my notes right in here because I hit the click the link.
27 points in week 3.
Guys, 27 points. Yes, Cameron, 27 points. 3.6 round 1. 5.9 round 2. Who's he got coming up? Houston, Seattle, Atlanta, bye. I don't know, you guys. I know the hype says Jefferson. I don't know. We're going to move on to tight end. Again, we're going fast. Austin Hooper, 8.09. How is Austin Hooper not a part of anybody's squad right now? Well, if I click on him, oh, here it is. 2.5, 3.2, 4.0, you guys. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Washington. There's a reason why we're not picking this guy up, even though he was one of the number 1 tight ends of the season last year, again, over there with Atlanta. We start moving on down the line to kickers. We're going to haul ass through this. Guys, Gostkowski.
Miss.
Yeah, he's 8.212. He's 8 points plus on the projections here for week number 4. Let's look at his stats. Okay. Oh, wow. He killed it. Dude, week 1 was badass. Half a point. Week 2 against Jacksonville. Week 1 was Denver. Week 2, Jacksonville, 9 points. They only lost by 3. Question me this. How does a win by 1 point, 31-30 by Minnesota, equal 25 points by Stephen Gostkowski? Holy shitballs, because they're relying on the kicker. Are you going to say that you're going to get 25 points on a kicker every round, Cameron?
No, not even. I won't even say that. That's a fluke and a half for sure. I will say, though, I think I'm staying away from – you said stay away from the Jets players. I'm staying away from a lot of Titans players with the COVID coming out as well.
Oh, great point.
I don't know who's got the COVID and who doesn't, and
if they're going to be able to play. They haven't said – they said 3 players –
and
5
2 coaching
staff.
Oh, 5 staff. Okay.
I feel like it was 3 and 5.
That makes
not
sense.
5 total.
Yeah.
The way it was written. But the point remains. If you're a tight – I didn't even think about that on the waivers thing. I mean, good point. I mean, we're talking about – geez Louise. Who are they going against? What was the other team that got shit canned? 2 teams. Titans and –
the Vikings.
Vikings.
But the Vikings haven't tested positive yet. That's the other thing.
Fair.
So,
but we're talking about the waiver wire right now, and you're going to see this. Hopefully, if Cameron gets off his ass next couple of minutes, he's going to put this up quick because you're going to need it. Do you pick a Vikings player
with the potential?
And they end up here real quick. 5 seconds serious, bud. What if neither team play this week? What does that do to picks? We're talking all Minnesota, all
Tennessee Titans.
Right?
And they're playing it. Then who are it's what will the NFL do? They're playing against the Steelers. So now we got to question our Steelers pick. Is it now a bye week for them? Like, what is it? So we got to stay on top of it this week.
It's not just 2, it's 4.
Yeah.
So are there 4 teams right now that maybe don't play a game this week? I got a feeling those guys are on the button. But are we going to find out? I mean, again,
it's Tuesday.
We are recording this at Carry the One, 9:25 on
Pacific
Tuesday.
Standard.
We need to get – is there – oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, is there anybody –
Justin,
who actually already knows the answer to this question, Dick. But 9:25. So the point being, 9:25. Jesus, you guys, we could find out tomorrow morning, hey, good job. You got all that job done with the waiver wire. Just kidding. Those players aren't even playing. The entire team, which means half your team. I'm looking at some of these squads right now, guys. You got a lot of potential COVID players. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but what are they going to do?
Well, who knows? And fast forward into next week, there's some close matchups that might just be ruined by this. And it's and someone that's got to watch the waiver wire has got to be Bears beats beginner this next week.
Absolutely.
It's
so tight.
It's tight. It's within 2 points with saved by Odell, but looking down here at their sheets.
Yeah, we're talking 105.73 for Odell, who's sitting at 2-1. Bears beats beginner is 2-1, but at 103.05. Now, one thing I think we can agree on is that the projection seems to mean absolute.
What
do they call about it? Dick, right? Is it Dick? Is that the?
Yeah, that's a British term, actually. I think. They eat
All
that.
Right.
It's spotted dick.
Point is, nothing.
No,
it's not good. It's not good. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, to look at either side and to think that they don't know what the hell they're doing is stupid. I'm gonna run it down real quick. There's QB versus QB, running back versus all the way down. Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott. Keep it going. Running back, Mixon, Kamara. Jacobs, Jones. Wide receiver, Beckham, Golladay. Wide receiver, Diggs, Miller. Miller from Chicago. Tight end, Hunter Henry versus Cook over at New Orleans. On the flex, Schuster. Schuster on a flex, by the way.
Yeah.
Schuster on a flex versus Smith over at Tennessee.
Another tight end.
Interesting, by the way. I love the tight end pick. That was new this year. We didn't do that last year.
I opened up the flex spot.
Right. And then on the kicker side, we got Gould with San Fran. We got Elliott with Philly. Bold pick. I loved Elliott last year. What's the opposite of love? So anyways, Saints on the defense with Odell and Bills. I like that pick.
The Bills
like that pick.
Fantastic.
They're killing it right now with beginner. Bears beats beginner. It's a tight group, and we're talking 105.73 favoring Odell versus Shelby with Bears beats beginner. What about that bench, Cameron? What do you think about that bench?
I think that's what makes this game even closer because Shelby's got no one. She's got 3 injured reserves. I don't know if she's going to drop them this week, if she's going to hunt that waiver wire and play it well. And the lack of bench saved by Odell is a bit disappointing as well. He does have Terry McLaurin, which is his only saving grace, but with that exception, there's nothing. So I think that makes that game close. But there's one more game I want to talk about.
There's one more game. But before you jump into said game, I want to put a quick point out, which we haven't talked about yet. I know we talked about maybe pointing out during the waiver wire, injuries. We haven't talked about injuries yet. You just kind of hinted at it. Let's talk about that kind of, one to watch game we have for next week between Odell and Bears beats beginner. We're talking about Bears beats beginner right now on their bench. Three teammates, Bell, Coleman, Shepard, all on injury reserve. All right, what do we have on that? Oh, nothing on the other side. We have a questionable, but we've learned that questionable means absolute dick, especially we're talking about New England. I hate them so much. I had Edelman on the regular, and he's like he came out of the womb questionable. Guy is pissing me off right now. But if we start rolling down the lane here, we're going to talk about first. We're going to breeze past this real quick. Who's got some injury reserve? Who's got some outs? Justin Incredibles. Goddard. He's on the bench right now. He's an injury reserve. He's not going to be in the game for this next week. Next one. We got Pope. And we got yourself, my friend. Who's on it? Only Reed on Pope. He's injury reserve. Move on down the lane. Bench warmers versus Steelers fan. Who's on the injury reserve? Nothing. So we could see some action here.
Devontae Adams, very questionable, though, and Godwin and Shark, questionable and doubtful. There's still some concerns for those three, though.
I'll tell you right now, if Godwin does not improve against the doubtful program against the Chargers, that could be a big points game or a big goose egg. It is on the zero for bench warmers, and we're talking about the Super Bowl champ from 1 year ago. So that's going to be a big one for him. And he wants to see that thing change. He's seen Chark at a questionable for a while, so he wants to see that change. Moving on down, we already talked about Odell and Bears Beats Beginner. How about one of the ones we're watching, Participants and Captain Not So Obvious.
Yeah,
Who's on the injury reserve? Oh, wow. Sutton, Harris on the other side. But don't forget Perriman. I want to say, and I could be wrong, I want to say Perriman was drafted by Participants.
He could have been, but still out. And then
carrying the long out right now.
I don't think Derek knows how the waiver wire works, so he's gonna. I think he'll figure it out this week. I sent him an instruction manual, and I think he'll figure it out. So we'll be good.
I will say that I was talking with him in the office because we work together, and he said, "Hey, I just made this trade. I'm gonna drop this guy," and I'm like, "Hey, you had this other guy who hasn't done shit." And he's like, "That's not a bad idea." So. I mean, to be fair, we're talking about the Village Idiot being P1 in the series. I can say that because we're friends. Moving on down to the last lineup, we're talking about here for the gangbang. That is KC versus Unamaster, which is Travis.
Christian McCaffrey.
Samuel on KC's side. He's on injury reserve. And obviously McCaffrey, arguably the biggest notable on the line. You know who we didn't talk about? I breezed right past it. Did I miss it? I'm going to go back to him real quick. Where is he? Bench warmers. He's here. Is he there? Interesting. Smart move. I like this. So who's out for the season for the bench warmers?
Saquon Barkley.
Come on, son. And who's not on because he's paying attention. And I do think some of our
casual,
lackluster, casual, playing the game, might have him on the bench for days. Shit, they might have him on the starting lineup.
Yeah, pick him up on the waiver wire.
Not last year's Super Bowl champ. Good on Logan Calvin. He's shit-canned a guy who is out for the season. But it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward.
For sure. And the final game we have to talk about is our spotlight of the week, and I'll fire it off with it's you, Mike. It's the I Like Turtles versus Just Incredibles. Justin coming off a demoralizing loss. I think he saw it coming, but this is a half-point game, and projections don't mean shit, but damn, it gives us something to talk about.
Man, I'll tell you right now, as you say, it gives us something to talk about. I'm going to go on, if you don't mind, I'm going to go on the Justin side. If you want to take my side and maybe give me a little bit of love, I'm going to take the Justin side, the little devil's advocate. Russell Wilson right now is playing MVP. He's the guy. So I switched out Drew Brees because I tried playing the Minshew program. I tried. He gave me the straight up finger.
Yeah.
He effed me big time. But I got Breeze in the game. I don't see an option aside from that, so I'm going to go Breeze. I'm going against Wilson. Can we not agree? We're going to go position by position, so you get a chance to talk. I'm fucked. I am fucked here.
Yeah, the projected here is 20-22, and I don't even think that's close. I think Wilson going against a struggling Miami defense is going to blow him out of the water. And
I ask again, who is doing the projections?
And Breeze against Detroit, I think that could be a high-scoring game as well. But Wilson's, I'll give the win to Justin and the quarterback. Moving to Carson versus Johnson, I think you should watch that injury on Carson. He actually might get some limited play time.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. Carson, limited play time. Johnson has not been consistent, though, and that's going to be the thing. So we got a little split. We got 18.4 points in week 1, 6 points week 2, 11.6 week 3. On your point, Carson with a bit of an injury. It seems like a light sprain, although if I'm honest, that position is going to move, you guys, because It sounds like 1 to 2 weeks out of Carson here for the injury.
So I just want to look at your backup there, and you've got Montgomery and Peterson on the bench. I still think I'd hand Justin the favor between those two picks.
On the flip, I agree.
Austin Ekeler and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Once again, two very strong running backs. I still have to lean towards the strength in Justin's running backs here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and the massive power-packing Kansas City team. He's hasn't let him down yet.
I agree, and it comes down to what is behind the running back. The running back does what he's told. And at the end of the day, we're talking about Helaire, who's been a huge pickup for KC, and a situation where he is getting the ball, he's getting the bucket on a regular basis. Ekeler, here's the difference. KC is on the front end, and they're moving forward on a regular basis. Ekeler, he is trying to save a franchise from going backwards. So he's having to do more and extra. And also, who is the quarterback, right? So we have a bit of an issue there. And I'm talking about against my team, but the reality is I'm going to go Helaire. Absolutely. We're talking about a defense of New England against Helaire. We're talking about a defense of Tampa Bay against Ekeler. It could go either way. I agree. Nod towards Helaire.
So, and let's move into the wide receivers. I'll take it of a 1-2 punch here. We got Robert Woods and Mike Evans. I'd say these are probably two of the best wide receiver twos in the game with a wide receiver 1 point potential. And on the other side, you got Julio Jones, who, when healthy, is phenomenal. But I think Matt Ryan's got more options, so he won't be the wide receiver 1 he was drafted as. And Will Fuller, once again, I think he is a great wide receiver too, but not as good as the other side. So I'll actually hand you the win here with the wide receivers. I think you have a little bit of an advantage, and you might come back with a couple points, especially playing against a weak New York Giants team for Woods.
I appreciate that, but I think what it comes down to is that what the kind of game script is going to be. I mean, Jones in Atlanta, I would give them a lot of love, except for Jesus criminy if it isn't like the MO of Atlanta to give up W's. I mean, Jesus criminy. Jones should be the guy. He's not the guy. You know who is the guy? Ridley. Ridley's the guy. And Jones, who we were talking about a season ago, and now you throw a questionable tag at him. It's a bit tough. Fuller, Minnesota here and there, but I'll throw this at you. Woods looks good with the Giants. Evans against the Chargers. It's what if. This one could go either or, my friend.
I still favoring you. And we got your tight ends here. We got Zach Ertz on just a weak Philadelphia team. A great tight end, but damn, they suck. I'm sorry, Mark Connell. And Noah Fant, I'm going to say the same exact thing. Damn good tight end. God damn it, Denver. Can we just win a game?
Do you like Denver? Are you a fan?
I am a fan of the mountain team. Denver, Colorado. And you know what?
I'll tell you right now, I have Noah, and I have down in my bench, I got Hurst with Atlanta. And I'm on the edge. But I'll tell you right now, I like the matchup against the Jets. But Jesus criminy, throw the ball to Fant already. Come on already. Jesus criminy. And Ertz against San Fran? Oy, oy, oy.
So I think you handily win the tight end matchup there. And I'll move on to your flex position as you always have the ever so elusive Julian Edelman against, once again, another wide receiver 2 here, Sammy Watkins. Edelman, game script with Cam Newton at the helm, doesn't get the ball. It's not the check down Britt Tommy that it once was.
I agree 100%. And actually, this is one of the things that I've been playing with. I've been looking at. What's fun about this, if I was looking at the other lineups and I didn't actually have anything to do with it, I think it's really fun. It's still fun, but shit, it involves me. Julian Edelman with New England against what team? Oh, KC. What's the other side? Oh, Watkins with KC against New England. Son of a bitch. I'll tell you right now, for any of you who watched Monday Night Football, KC is on point. KC looks good. On the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive, they're not doing takeaways. I wouldn't pick them as a defensive pick, but god damn if they're not helping out wins. You know what I mean? So the one thing on my lineup that I'm looking at is Edelman, and I am looking at the bench. I'll just tell you that right now.
So,
yeah, you see that shit coming, dude. Yeah. I'm like, my shit sucks.
But I'll move on there. You have your streaming pick from last week of the Colts, and the matching kicker, as I like to call this, the roulette wheel of picks. As we have come to find out, there's very little consistency with basically not having the top two defenses or kickers in the league.
Yeah, although I will say I streamed the Colts last week. Cameron, if you did a quick click, where are the Colts? Where are the Colts defense?
They were number 1 in week 3.
Oh, number 1. Yeah, okay.
It was well done. Nice stream. It's like I said something along those lines last week. So
literally. I tried to faint. I tried. You didn't even
no.
Shit, did you?
I went right through it.
Luckily this aired well after any kind of waiver wire, so I got the Colts.
So, and on the other side, we've got the Cardinals defense against your terrible Panthers that got a win last week.
You know what? I'll be honest. Man, Cardinals, great offense. I don't know that I can give them love on the defense.
I agree. You know what I mean? There 100%. I think you still have. I think these bottom 2 picks. I'll lean towards you once again. I know it doesn't mean much in the roulette wheel of picks here, but
it's gonna be tight.
It's gonna be tight
game, and that's why we spend about 17 minutes on the spotlight of the week. But absolutely, we need to move on, my friend. And I know you got more shit you want to look at.
No, I did want to come back and say I need a little redemption, and I need it out of Justin. I'm picking Justin 2 weeks to go in a row in our spotlight game, and I'm assuming you must pick yourself. So
absolutely. I mean, if we're talking about a spotlight, we gotta pick a game. I mean, wait, if I pick Justin, do I win and win?
Well, no, you could lose twice as well. So let's be honest here.
You goddamn right. I got to pick myself. I mean, God, it's a tough one. It's not like I feel confident about it. We picked these spotlight games because they're close, and we were talking about a half point in the projection. But I think we can all agree that the projection is a big pile of crap. So, yes, I'm picking me. Hopefully, in the next recording, I'm big happy.
So I'll do another nod to Derek because we've bashed him enough right before we sign off. The next one to watch is we got to make sure and see if he can keep his win streak alive in this catastrophe of what we can call a week 4. So,
no, for sure. I mean, Derek. I mean, he picked close to the sharp end, and anytime you get a chance to pick to the sharp end, if you start looking at the people at the front, right? I mean, you got he's P1. You got Travis, he's P3. Those guys, they all picked at the sharp end. I can't remember where Taylor picked at.
He's right in the middle as well. I think it was 6th.
Is it okay? Well, that's pretty good. But you got participants P5. If Steelers fan is P6, Una Masters P1. Where did Shelby pick at? She pretty close to sharp end?
Nah, she was on the back side.
All right. Well, I like that. So what we're seeing is a lot of unpredictability. And just to kind of put a point on this thing, if you're playing the waiver wire, if you're starting to look around and see what else is going on, or even looking at your general lineup or your bench, like I am, I mean, shit, it's not a lot of stuff makes sense. There's players that you feel like I could lean on this guy. I could be all right with this person. They get injured, or they don't put down the numbers you think they're going to put down. they're not. This is not your quote predictable season. I mean, if I'm taking a quick glance just to give everyone an idea. I'm looking at the overall standings. We're looking at undefeated Derek Esquivel, the participants. He's looking at 351 for, 300 against. P2. It's going to be Steelers fan 69, 376 52, 365 84, almost identical. This is huge. This is big. Travis, P3, 400, 380, 388, 438. Carry the one.
438.
438, 92. Oh my gosh. Carry the one real quick. He is almost 100 more than Derek.
Yeah.
Almost 100 more than Derek, and he still has 68 against versus Derek, and he's P3. And then another 421, Shelby. Bears beats beginners. It's 421, 344. I remember last year, it was pretty evenly spread. The people who were doing well had very little against, and they kicked the shit out of people, on a regular basis. This is all over the place, you guys.
Yeah.
So look deeper in the waiver wire. Look deeper in the trades. Maybe as a group, maybe as a league, we start thinking about these trades a little bit more because I know I'll raise my hand. I'm in the game. I'm looking for trades because holy shitballs. I made the joke in the Instagram chat. All these injuries. Where's Andrew Luck? I might pick up an Andrew Luck here pretty quick.
For sure. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's rather sporadic, and there's no way of knowing. I'm sure it'll even out throughout the season. I'm hoping the COVID catastrophe of the Titans right now is just mellow news, and they'll have it figured out by the end of the week.
You would hope things get better in your direction.
I really hope that I can score a win here.
I can say that because I'm now 1-2. I got a little dub. Got a small little dub.
For sure. And on that note, I'm Mike. I just want to win. That's all I want to do.
Anybody give him a win. Who's that going to be this week?
This week?
Who's going to give Cameron a win this week?
We're going with Pope without a hat is going to hand me over with ease.
What a nice guy, Jacob Pope.
Thank you, Pope.
What a nice guy. Real quick, what moves could Pope do to give you a little bit of help? What would you like Pope to do to give you a little bit of help?
To keep all of his Titans players. That's all I care about.
He will see this next week on Tuesday, I'm sure, and it'll be game over anyway.
All right, guys, and that's going to wrap up episode 3 for our week 4 preview. Headed into next week. Thanks, guys.